Good morning and welcome to Redemption Mamas. Miriam Smout. I am passionate about working and journeying with women to see hearts restored so that they can be healed and whole. So this morning I'm presenting a workshop. I do this each week, and I'm really honoured and blessed to work with women who have a passion and a heart to a desire to see their heart restored. Many things happen in our lives, causing us to just lose hope, lose faith, lose the belief that maybe something can change, something can be different, that we don't have to keep repeating the same old stuff in our life. And that was my journey. I came to my 40s and I found myself in a place of unraveling. It was not a nice place to be. I felt like all I'd worked for, the things that I'd poured my heart and my soul into, were just slipping through my fingers, and I was losing hope. And I had sunk into quite a deep, dark depression. So, when I started my journey, I was not thinking that I needed anyone else to help me. I just did what I could myself. And it didn't seem to be working very well. And it wasn't until I met a friend who had reached out to someone else who was helping her in a very similar situation to me. And her face, her demeanor had changed. She had a smile, she had hope, and I wanted what she had. I wanted to get some of that stuff into my life. So, what that transpired or what that turned out to look like is me breaking some cycles in my life that I had no idea had become so entrenched. And I was repeating and repeating and repeating them. Some of them were cycles that had come through my generational line, things that my mother had done and her mum had done. And I didn't want to repeat some of the things that either of them had done, but I was finding myself on this trajectory, on this pathway that looked like it was just going to be the same old. And I was going to fall into the same old patterns and disappointments and grief that they had experienced in their life. Well, I'm so grateful for you being here. As I said, my name is Miriam Smout. I'm creator and founder of Redemption Mamas, a space where I've been mentoring, healing, mentoring in the space to see women healed and whole from the inside out, their hearts restored, purpose refreshed in their life, reclaimed in their life. And that's my passion. My passion is to see women's hearts restored, identity restored, purpose fulfilled, because that's what a woman's heart really deserves. And when a woman's heart begins to feel healed and whole, everything changes. The way she sees herself, the way she loves, the way she lives, everything, everything changes. So today we're talking about breaking cycles. If you see some things that are repeating in your life, maybe that have been rinse and repeat in your previous generations, if you see things repeating in your life that are repeats of emotional struggles, relational struggles, then you're going to be intrigued by the pathway that I used, and I called it the 5 steps to a beautiful you. And now let's just be clear. When I say beautiful, I'm not talking about this part of us, although as we heal this part of us, it does beautifully reflect on the outside, and you can't help that because when you do the inside and the deep parts, I'm talking about being healed. I'm talking about being restored. I'm talking about being authentic and the real you, not just the version that's pain shaped. So if you've ever found yourself thinking, why does this keep happening to me? Why do I keep reacting this way? Why do I keep ending up back here again? Then this is for you, because cycles don't break themselves. They keep going until someone says, that's it. That is stopping with me. A cycle, what is it? It's a pattern that keeps repeating itself, sometimes just quietly in the background, sometimes loudly and annoyingly. It might be choosing the same kind of unhealthy relationship, shutting down when you feel unsafe and not being able to talk and communicate. Maybe it's people pleasing until you just feel invisible and you've lost yourself. Maybe it's just believing you're not enough, staying silent when your voice does really matter. It's fear that keeps you small, and you might be repeating cycles of fear that stop you from really stepping up and being who you truly can and should be. It might be anger that you learned as a protective mechanism, and so you use that anger in repeated cycles in your relationships, in your workplace. Or shame that has you just dropping your head and you don't feel like you can lift it up and carry yourself as you truly deserve to. Most cycles that we find ourselves repeating are not born out of just a rebelliousness, but they're born out of a survival. They start as a way to cope because everything around us, we may be feeling unsafe or that things are just too hard. But once something that once helped you survive can become something that keeps you stuck. So this is why this pathway really, truly matters. I call this the 5 steps to a beautiful you. And these are the things that have shaped our lives and made us who we are today. But maybe they're not serving us so well anymore. So the first step is the shape up step. The first place we have to go to truly break a cycle is to identify the things that have shaped us. Identify what shaped you and what made you who you are today, both the good, the bad, and the ugly. These are your memories that have shaped you in every season of your life, and every memory leaves an imprint on you. Being able to identify these is the beginning of the process of emotional healing. Because the truth is, we just don't wake up with cycles, they are formed. So, what shaped you? Your upbringing, the words that were spoken over you, the love you received or you didn't receive, moments of joy, moments of reflection, seasons where you felt safe, seasons where you didn't. Every memory leaves an imprint, and some imprints build us up in beautiful ways, and others bend us or maybe even break us. And so the goal of the shape up isn't to shame us, but it's to bring clarity. It's to step into that place and see, this is where I learned that. This is where I started believing that. This is where I picked up that coping mechanism. This is why I respond like this. So the shape up is a very gentle, honest look at your story, because you can't heal what you don't want to name. The second step is the shake up. What has shaken you? Identifying the challenges and the difficulties that have shaken you up, that can be a hard, honest, and courageous step to take. Revisiting them and naming the shake-ups, this helps you to accept the influence that they've had on your life. Identifying them and calling them out is the next step in this powerful emotional healing process. Shake-ups are just those moments that didn't pass through your life, they shook your life. Maybe it was a loss or a betrayal, a divorce, abuse, neglect, humiliation, trauma, disappointment, being left behind, being left out, being controlled, being unseen, being told you are too much or not enough. These shake-ups, they create inner turmoil inside of us and inner agreements that we make with ourselves that I can't trust people. I have to stay in control. I have to be perfect if I'm going to be loved. Love always hurts. My feelings don't matter. I need to keep the peace, whatever the cost. Are these some things that you've been hearing yourself say? Because here's the thing. We don't heal by pretending that the shake-ups didn't matter or that they didn't even happen. We heal by naming them bravely, gently, and honestly. This step is not about reliving the pain to stay stuck there. It's about revisiting the pain so it doesn't stay hidden and it doesn't keep shaping your future. because what remains unspoken often repeats a cycle in our life. The next step in this process is the step up. We've identified the things that have shaped us. We've identified the things that have shaken us. Next, we need to identify the things that actually we have used to process those shake-ups. What have you used to step up and out and away from the things that have shaken you up? We need to identify the ways that we have used to process our shake-ups. Often we have a default way to deal with these things, and some serve us well and others do not. Some will just be ways to survive. They'll be the survival skills that are no longer serving us very well. So discovering what you should keep and what needs to go happens here in the step up. This step is where you start to notice your default settings, the things that you just go back to, the triggers that just have you going back to the same old cycles and processes. Because every shake-up produces a response. Some of us might have stepped up by becoming strong, becoming responsible, becoming the helper, becoming the fixer, becoming the peacemaker, becoming the achiever, the one who never needs anything. I'm self-sufficient. Some of us might have stepped up by numbing ourselves, getting caught up in food or scrolling or alcohol or work or just being busy. Some of us might have stepped up by withdrawing or hardening our hearts or just becoming really controlling or performance orientated or pleasing or avoiding or running or staying silent or staying angry. And again, no shame here whatsoever, because survival skills are not wrong. They are quite strategic, and they are strategies that helped us cope in the season we were in. But the step up asks, is this still serving you? Is it still serving you into the who and the you that you want to become? Some survival skills are worth keeping because they were healthy resilience, but others have cages, and they keep us stuck and keep us bound. So in this step, it's where you say, I want to honor what's helped me survive, but I'm not staying there. Breaking cycles means stepping away from what protected you then and from into what empowers you now. The next step, step 4. Step 4 is the setup. This is where you can make an action plan for a new way of living, a completely new way of living. The setup step helps to set yourself up for success, and it does require an action plan so you can achieve your goals of becoming the true, genuine, authentic, beautiful you. You learn skills in the setup stage, and you learn ways to replace some of the survival skills that you might have used with life skills that are going to really be helping you to be intentional, have a strategy that will help you to set up an emotionally healthy way of moving forward. This is a shift from becoming aware into taking action, because knowing the cycle's not enough. You need a new way to live. The setup is where you build the boundaries in your life. You reshape some of those old ways of thinking with new thought patterns. You separate from relationships that have caused abuse or pain and learn how to pursue and look for safe relationships. You get emotional tools that help you step off the emotional roller coaster ride into a much more stable place to live. You get some habits for healing. You get some support systems that help you to notice the triggers and go, aha, that is not something I want to repeat again. That's a cycle I want to break. You can create some truth practices that help you to statements, that help you to really remind yourself day to day what it is you're wanting to achieve, where it is you're wanting to go, and what you're wanting to leave behind. Then, of course, some spiritual practices. These are things that are so important in our lives, daily habits that are going to keep our spirit man, our spirit just really strong, because that is the part that we need to have driving us. We don't want our thoughts and our minds and our emotions driving us, because we're on an emotional roller coaster ride. It helps us to find some wise counselors and mentors and become part of an honest, authentic community. As you replace those survival skills with life skills, you'll find that instead of shutting down, you'll learn to communicate. Instead of people pleasing, you'll learn to say no without that feeling of guilt. Instead of perfectionism, you'll learn to rest in the true worth of who you are. Instead of control, you'll learn to trust. Instead of isolating yourself, you'll choose and lean into connection. Instead of that harsh inner talk, you'll learn compassion and truth. The setup is you deciding, I am not just breaking up with what's bad. I'm going to build into my life what's good. And yes, this step takes courage, because freedom is often unfamiliar at first. We've been stuck in a cage, we've been trapped, we've been in a cycle and a pattern that we have tried maybe many times to break out of, but with no real success, no real movement into a new and a different pathway. Your freedom is often unfamiliar at first. It feels a little bit uncomfortable, and you can even second guess and doubt, wow, is this even right? Should I even be doing this? But you're not meant to stay who you had to be to survive. This is an invitation to step into a new way of living, a new way of being, and break some of those patterns and some of those cycles that are not serving you well in your life. And the last step, probably one of the hardest, is consistency. Staying intentional until healing becomes your normal way of life. That is so important. And so it's not a step we can skip. Consistency, consistency, consistency. It's staying consistent and choosing to be intentional day after day, moment after moment, minute after minute sometimes, until that emotional heart healing is so consolidated, it's an essential part of the process of who we are. Consistency is the part that will frame up your growth and consolidate emotional heart healing as you learn to apply and practice new skills and strategies. So, breaking a cycle is a decision in a moment, but living free is a pattern of consistency over time. Because cycles do try to come back, old wiring does try to run the show again, the familiar does try to call you back home, but consistency says, I'm staying, I'm practicing, I'm learning, I'm not going backwards, I'm letting healing become my lifestyle. And here's a truth that I love. Healing isn't just a linear process, but it's a divine process, a holy process, a sacred process that takes our focus onto the beyond, into the heavenlies, partnering with a Papa God that loves you. You know, some days you'll feel strong, some days you'll feel wobbly, but consistency is what consolidates your freedom. And it's how your new life can become your normal pattern of life. So, what happens when a woman breaks cycles? What happens when a woman decides, that's it, I'm not going to be repeating the same old, same old. I'm not going to go on rinse and repeat, but I'm going to step into a new process of breaking these patterns, breaking these disappointments, breaking these relational struggles. When a woman walks into these steps, her heart starts to restore, her identity clears, her purpose rises. She stops shrinking back and hiding. She stops apologizing for existing and for everything. She stops living from fear, and she stops repeating what broke her. And her freedom doesn't have to stop with her, because when one woman heals, she can shift a generation. She can shift the next generation. She can even shift the past generation, because her modeling and her life that she's living now is just going to be reflecting a completely new path. You don't just break a cycle, you build a whole new way of living. So I want to finish with this today, that you may not be able to rewrite the chapter that you've had in the past. You might not be able to rewrite the story, but you absolutely can decide what comes next. What's the next chapter that you're going to live in your life? Because you're not what hurt you. You are not what happened to you, and you are not your default settings. You can become a woman becoming whole, a woman waking up, a woman setting up a new legacy, a woman choosing consistency and healing. So if something in you is whispering today, I want this, I want a new way of living, I want to honor the me who I've been created to be, then that's the beginning of your beautiful you. It stops with you and it starts with something beautiful beginning in you, the beautiful you journey. This is a journey that I've been walking on myself now for many decades. I'm very, very grateful and blessed to have been able to do this journey by, as I said at the beginning, just noticing a friend who made some changes and started to go on that restoration process in her own life. I'm so grateful and so blessed, because I was in a bad place. My marriage was falling apart. I was depressed. I was becoming unable to even cope on a day-to-day basis. And yet, as the call and the whisper in my heart was saying to me, this is not me. What can I do? What can I change? How can I move out of this place of being caged and bound and stuck into really truly fulfilling the purpose that I was called to be, reclaiming my identity and stepping into fulfilling that? That's the journey that I'm so grateful to have been on. And it's a journey that I'm so blessed to be participating with other women as well. So if that's something that interests you, then reach out, because it's a journey that we can do in community. It's a journey that we can do encouraging and inspiring and um, working alongside of others. You know, your story will be something that can really help and bless and encourage someone else. They'll be like, my gosh, I didn't realize I just thought I was the only one. I thought I was the only crazy person on this planet. And that's a lie right from the get-go, right there. That's just not truth. You are a beautiful you. You are a beautiful you. All of these things that have happened in our lives, many that are not even within our control, things that we haven't even been responsible for, they shape us and shake us, and they cause us to make choices that sometimes don't always serve us well. Maybe in the moment they serve us well, but they're survival skills. Is it time to start stepping into some life skills? Is it time to start stepping up and out, away from those things that have shaped you, broken you, hurt you, caused you pain? If that's something that interests you, then reach out and message me. Say, yeah, I want to be part of something that's going to bring a whole new way of living. It's going to break the cycles, break the patterns that I've been living in my life for too long. Only you can make that choice. Only you can make that call. Only you can decide. Line in the sand. That's enough. I'm not going down this pathway anymore. And in that journey and on that journey, You will find wounds that you've carried that have just been trigger points when someone touches that just cause you to react in ways that you don't want to. You'll see wounds healed. You'll come to reclaim that true, genuine, authentic you. You'll reclaim your personal power and you will unlock the God given destiny, the calling, the purpose, the plan, the reason that you're even on this earth today. So I just wanted to share my 5 steps with you today, the 5 steps to a beautiful you, and I will put them in the comments below, in the video where you see this, and I just want to encourage you to think and ponder, is there am I ready? Am I ready to step out of surviving into thriving and living a life that is truly going to reflect who I am, who you are? That's the question. And if it's a yes, then take action, do something about it, reach out. I'm very keen, I'm wanting to start a regular weekly group. At the moment, I have 20 puppies. I do some dog breeding on the side, and it's just become a bit of a hectic season, which is beautiful. I can't complain. So I think this is not going to start as soon as I'd hoped. But if we start communicating with each other and we start reaching out and create some space where we can meet and genuinely start sharing and opening up and bringing healing into our hearts, breaking the cycles, that would just be a really beautiful, beautiful place to start. So I'm going to leave you with those thoughts today. Have a really beautiful day and take care.